Hey, welcome back to the workshop. This week, we're going to be doing another Craftsman toolbox. I can't wait to get started on this one. All right, this is a really cool vintage of the Craftsman. With this, I think it's called the Centennial logo, which I believe dates it to the 50s. This box is in really good shape, other than the fact it's just got a very light coating of surface rust everywhere. The worst part about it are the latches. They're in pretty rough shape. And the handle holders are in pretty rough shape. It's got a small crease back here, which is making it so the lid doesn't fit close, but I'll fix that. And then the bottom has got a lot of rust in it. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to get this vacuumed out. I'm going to see if I can drill out these rivets for all the latches. But the main thing I want to do before I go any further is I want to get this pin out of this hinge, which for me is always the most challenging part of a toolbox restoration. So hopefully I can get it out. We'll see. The other thing you may have noticed is it's missing the top tray, but I might have a solution for that. Right here is a hint of the original color, which will be, I'll be going back painting the cabinet or the box with Rustoleum Hammer Gray finish. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing soaked down pretty good with some liquid wrench, and hopefully I can loosen that pin up that's in there. Well, I said liquid wrench, but I came to this can first in the cabinet, so I'm going to try this. This WD-40 has a much more pleasant smell than PB Blaster for sure. All right, I've let this soak for a while. I've got a pin punch here. I'm going to see if I can get it to move a little bit. Does not look like it's moving at all. Well, it has moved ever so slightly. That's a long way to go. Bending my punch too. These are cheap punches. I'm gonna put some heat on this. Well, shit. Oh, shit. Boy, I'm in trouble now. So hopefully everybody learned something a little there. One, this WD-40 Penetrant is pretty flammable. Second is I had used this rag to wipe it off. So when I threw it on there, it was just like pouring gas on it. So I just ran to the sink, wet this down real quick, and put it right out. So. All right, I finally started to make some headway. What I did was I came from this side and punched it back through and back and forth a few times, and then found a punch that was a little bit thicker than the one I was using. So I've got it in about that far now. I'm gonna go a little bit further with this punch because it's not tapered, and then I'll see if I can pull it out from the other side. All right, that's about as far as I can go. All right, I've moved the box. Got a couple bench dogs in my bench with a 2x4 here. So when I'm hitting this way, the box won't move. It's gonna be beat all to hell when I get it out, but it'll be out. here we go. All right. So now that should make this thing a little bit easier to clean up. All right, now we'll get a look at the actual color. Okay, so got the toolbox completely taken apart. After almost burning my shop down, and I'm ready to start cleaning this thing up. So I've got it sitting in a tote here because I'm going to pour Evaporust inside, because that's the worst of the rust, is down at the bottom, about the last inch going down the sides and the very bottom. I did scrape it with a scraper and re-vacuum it, but I've got it in the tote in case there are holes and it leaks. At least I don't lose my Evaporust, because this is brand new. Okay, overnight soak in Evaporust, not even 24 hours, and you can see how dark the Evaporust is. I did have quite a bit leak out, so I ended up putting the other half of the gallon in, and it leveled out and covered it fine. So I'm going to get this out of here and, yeah, just see what we got to work with. Oh, look at the bottom. It came really clean, as well as the inside. So now I'm just going to take this over to the sink, rinse it out, and start scrubbing on it. So when I went to Harbor Freight the other day to get some new Evaporust, because I haven't replaced mine in a while, of course I was walking around the aisles, and I picked up this die grinder. It's a Chief die grinder. I think this one's a 20,000 or maybe 18,000 RPM model. Man, this thing's cool. I don't know how I lived without one of these in my shop for as long as I have. It wasn't expensive. I think it was $59. I only picked up a few accessories, so I may not have everything here I need. So I may be going back to Harbor Freight, but I'm telling you, this thing is awesome. All right, I got a lot of sanding to do. I'll see you in a little while. Before I break away, I did want to show you something cool. So, no question who made this box. If you read it backwards, W-A-T-E-R-L-O-O, Waterloo. Those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you've heard me talk about this a lot in the past. It's not a sponsored video by any means, but I think this product works really well. It's by Duplicolor. It's called Rust Fix, and basically it says it stops rust on contact, prevents it coming back, and makes it a paintable and sandable primer. And you'll see when it goes on, the areas where there's still some rust, it'll turn to a darker black than everything else. All right, I got my Rust Fix on, and you can see kind of what the box looks like. I'm going to go ahead and get a coat of primer on this. Primer probably be the first of 3 coats. So I'll prime it, sand it, prime it, sand it, prime it, sand it. And that's really going to show me all my defects. Got quite a bit of little pit marks all along the bottom here where I guess this thing sat in water. There's some through here. I've got a couple little tiny dents and some pitting over here. So I'm going to get some of this red glazing compound on there. This is made for like pinholes and stuff, and I know it looks like I'm using a lot, but when I sand it off, there'll be hardly anything there. You may have noticed I haven't painted the bottom yet. I'll get that on the second coat here. All right, I'm gonna let that dry tonight. We'll look at it tomorrow. All right, I'll bring it back when I get the rest of it done. I just wanted to show you the process of how I'll work some of the metal before I'm ready for paint. All right, the second coat of primer after I did the glazing compound looks really good. So now I'm going to get it wet sanded with some 600 grit. It's just going to be a light sand, and we'll be ready for the final coat. All right, to clean the top up, it's going to be the same process. Safety glasses, respirator, headphones, 2-inch die grinder with a stripping pad on it. I'm going to get it clean, but not perfect, and then I'll get it to the sandblaster. All right, if you remember from the beginning of the video, I was missing the tool tray that goes in this toolbox. And I've got a ton of toolboxes, and I searched through to see if I had a tray that would fit. The original tray, well, let me just show you. So my first option was I had a tray that came out of a bluegrass box, which is the exact size, perfect. The difference between this tray and what originally came in this box was these dividers weren't here. It was just one big open tray. So I'm thinking about using this, but the bluegrass box this came out of was in really good shape, and I hate to take the tray out of it. And then this box, or this tray, came out of a 60s era Crown logo Craftsman box, and it fits just as well. That box was not in great shape. It had some big dents in it, but the tool tray was fine. So I think I'm going to go with this one because it is a Craftsman, but I'm pretty sure, I was talking with my buddy 918 Pablo on Instagram. I'll put his link down here, and if you get a chance, or put his Instagram channel name there. If you haven't checked him out on Instagram, you should. He does some awesome restorations, but He's kind of my go-to Craftsman guru, and he and I talked about it, and we both feel like the Craftsman box with this Centennial logo, the tray would have been painted the same color as the box. So I'm going to get this cleaned up and get it painted. All right, this is the latch that I took off the toolbox. And honestly, I was thinking about replacing these, but I took some time. I did it all off camera. Tried to clean the other one up, just see what it would come out like. And there it is. So I'm really happy with this. It's not perfect by any means. I took the latch completely apart. And I'm glad that I did, because I didn't see it here before, but hopefully you can see now. It actually says Craftsman in there. I took it easy on this piece because I didn't want to lose that. I'll film the cleanup of this one. It's quite lengthy, so I don't know if I'll include it in this video or do a separate video on how to clean up these toolbox latches. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. All right, the paint job's done. I'm pretty happy with it. Didn't come out perfect, but I'm okay with it. So the next thing to do is going to be to get the lid on, but before I do that, I've got to get the latches back on, the handle back on, and the badge on. It's just easier to do when the lid is not attached. So I'm not going to show that in this video. I may have mentioned earlier that I'm going to do a separate video next week on how I clean up the latches, and included that will be how I reattach these with rivets. So let me get that done off camera, then we're going to try and get this back in. Oh, wow. It's going in okay. Until I said that. I believe that got it. All right, give you the final tour of the toolbox here. You can see the outside came out pretty good. Got the badge back on. I didn't do anything to restore that. I just cleaned it. I thought it looked fine. Of course, got the latches redone, the handle holder, but we got the inside done. This looks good. Got this replacement tool tray painted up to match. It looks really nice. Yeah, man, I'm pretty happy with how this one came out. Well, I had a lot of fun restoring this toolbox. I love these old Craftsman toolboxes, and just get a kick out of cleaning them up. And this one's a lot of fun, except for when I almost caught the shop on fire. That wasn't cool. Next week, I'll be doing a separate video on how I clean these latches up and reinstall them with the rivets. So hopefully you'll come back and watch that. To be reminded, just click on that bell icon, and you'll get notified when that video is out. Hang tight. I'll show you some before and after so you'll remember what it looked like before. And again, thanks so much for coming by the channel and checking it out. We'll see you on the next one.